The top curlers in the nation are in Omaha vying for a spot on the U.S. Olympic team. Curling has been gaining in popularity over the last decade, and it turns out an Omaha City Council member and his family are fixtures in the curling scene. Reporter Nick Starling caught up with Pete Festerson and talked to him about his hobby.
Crews are putting the last touches to this floor just in time for the hundreds to prove they are the best in the nation to represent the U.S. in the Olympics.
It's always been a fascinating sport to me.
Sean Morrison joined Exarban Curling a year ago after years of watching it on TV.
I like to think of it as a perfect combination between physical and mental.
He's excited to see the pros of the sport he competes in here in his hometown.
It's fantastic to see people at the peak of their sports participate and perform. So being able to watch athletes of this caliber at literally the world stage participating here locally is absolutely amazing.
Also a huge fan of the sport is Councilman Pete Festerson, who grew up curling with his family.
We've all competed nationally, and my mother did compete on the international stage in Scotland, where the sport originated, with some of her teammates too, so it's very much been a family thing for many years.
Years ago, Festerson says he went to nationals 4 times and placed as high as 4th.
I used to be better than I am now, I'd probably say, but it is a bit like riding a bike. I played last Sunday, and it felt good, and the motion felt good.
Festerson will throw out the first stone on Saturday and says he's proud the city will once again be in the Olympic spotlight.
We'll be one of the few cities that have hosted Olympic trials not only on the water, but now also on the ice.
With many eyes on the sport this week, Morrison hopes this also gets more people interested in curling.
We're really expecting this to be a real springboard to bigger and better things, and being able to expand and serve other audiences as well.
The curling trials run through Saturday. Signing day for some sports happened earlier this week. It's a day that dreams come true for many young athletes and their parents. The day high school stars commit to a college or big-name university. 3 News Now anchor Emily Zink went to one local high school that needed a lot of ink as a standout class of athletes made choices.
Not one.
And I'll be going to the University of Pittsburgh for volleyball.
Not 2. But 3.
I'll be attending the University of Nebraska to play basketball.
In a high school with about 400 kids, having one athlete go Division I is big, but Plattview's athletic director says this is huge.
Having 6'3" athletes and 6'10" basketball players and kids with that kind of talent, they just don't come through very often.
Plattview athletic director Steve Yackel says of the 8 letters of intent signed Wednesday, 3 were for Division I programs.
Yeah, if it's in the water, then we'll tell people to keep drinking water.
Brady Hyman will be the first in-state basketball player to accept a scholarship to the University of Nebraska in more than a decade.
I talked to Wes Wilkerson, who was one of the last people to do it, and he said it was just an amazing journey for him to go through, so I think it'll be fun.
Brady was telling me you used to beat him in basketball.
I still do.
Senior guard Peyton Brodsky is also staying close to home. She's attending Creighton.
We started going to the women's game like 7th, 8th grade, and I was just like, wow, it'd be super cool to play here.
And heading east is 6'2" volleyball player Sabrina Starks. She helped transform the Platteview team. Starks chose the University of Pittsburgh.
Being the leader, it was great, and then we can show later on that Platteview can be a great school for volleyball and all other sports.
Yackel says this is a major life accomplishment for his student athletes, no matter if they're headed to a Division I school or a community college.
That is a lot of talent. Congrats to all of them. Creighton High School is #1 in 8-man 1, which is pretty amazing considering they've had 3 starters tear ACLs and have lost a few more to other injuries. Their coach is Gene Suhr, a 2-time Class A champ at Platteview in the 90s. He's 68 years old and is retiring at the end of the season. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Megan McGill shares the story of how he got dragged into coaching his hometown team these past 3 years.
This is what it is when you try to go to Lincoln. This is what you got to do to go to Lincoln. You got to be this good. So it's up to you guys. Depends on how you do it. If you make mistakes, shake it off and let's go. Okay, let's just get it done.
High school football, I coached for 34 years and then 4 years in college, or 5 years in college actually. When I retired from Wayne State, I was actually out, I believe, around 3 years. Then their football coach here left and went to a different school. and it left them with no teaching positions and no coach. So some of the kids approached me about coaching the team, and so I thought about it a little bit. They really didn't know what they were going to do to find a football coach, so I decided, because I had done this before, I would help them out for that year. So I would come in and coach that first year, and then I coached the next year, and then again this year. It's going to be my last game. This is my last year. It's time for somebody else to come in and take the job, and I'm gonna retire once again. I'll miss the camaraderie you have with the kids and the coaches, because that's real special. Probably the most. I think even when I retired the first time, when I left, I think it was mainly just the camaraderie of being part of something that's bigger than you and special, you know, and I think that's probably what I guess I missed a lot, you know, and on Friday night, you know, in two-a-days, I had missed the two-a-days and the practices. This isn't about me, it's about these kids. This is a special group of kids. We had a lot of injuries that we overcome this year, and we just kept going and just kept going, and I think we were short 6 guys tonight, but yet we still just stayed in there and fought, you know, and I can't say enough. Nobody complained, nobody cried, nobody felt sorry for themselves. We just kept pushing on, and they're just special. You did good. Hey, I'm proud of you. You did good.
Suhr is in an elite class of coaches. He was inducted into the High School Sports Hall of Fame in 2013. The holiday season is a time to share the love, and one group is continuing its tradition of doing just that. Why they spend countless hours every year to make sure people thousands of miles away feel the love at Christmas. That's next when Omaha Sunday Morning continues.